Hey, Omega.
Yes, good.
What's more awkward than your ex showing up at a wedding?
I don't know.
Having your friend's ex show up at your wedding.
Awkward.
What's more awkward than that?
Your face.
Shut up, Jacob. I didn't ask you. You know what's more awkward than that?
Your face.
This transition. Hey everybody, and welcome to episode, which one is this? This is 89, episode 89 of Wooo Serious. I'm Gunner, that's Omega BR.
I know everybody's busy playing Grand Theft Auto 5. Personally, I've been busy with Misdemeanor Larceny 5.
I see. I really hope those flat-footed, pigs that are chasing you around your suburbia down there in the Mid-South eat another donut and catch you, because it'd be ironic.
Yes, I stole a Samurai Megazord from Toys R Us and got a fourth of a star for it.
This show.
You see, what Omega had actually wanted to do was pick up a fourth, and he went and picked up fourth of a star. Yeah, there you go. Technical producer Yankum DDS is the other voice you hear on this chatterbox.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, so we're gonna do something interesting, like the news. The news. WWE issued a press release on Friday noting that they have trimmed their outlook for 2013 due to lowered revenue expectations and higher investment spending. The company lowered their operating income before depreciation and amortization of $40 million to $50 million from $56.9 million to $69.5 million they previously projected. Revenue for the second half of 2013 is expected to be 5% lower than previously expected. WWE stock was down 2.6% in the after-hours trading on Friday. PW Insider reports there has been talk of cutting back on secondary talents, like managers from house shows to help cut costs, such as Zeb Coulter, who did not appear with Jack Swagger on Saturday's house show in Michigan. So Zeb Coulter, Vicky Guerrero, Paul Heyman, basically anybody with a manager or valet role that isn't going to wrestle later in the night isn't going to go on tour with them. More cost-cutting measures for the number one company?
Yeah, I believe on Friday, on a day when stocks were actually up, Raw, WWE's was down. And that's not a great sign. It's not like they're in the poorhouse or anything, but I guess a lot of their sort of positives in terms of international growth weren't strong enough this time around to kind of counteract things like maybe lower ticket sales at SmackDown or house shows, maybe lower pay-per-view buys for some of these B pay-per-views, perhaps lower merchandise sales, who knows really.
I'd just like to point out that those words that Gunnar mangled were depreciation and amortization. Wow, I mangled it too. Amortization.
Not so easy now, is it, Yank?
Depreciation and amortization.
Amortization, yes. And for those of us who are interested and own WWE stock, the open today was not $9.79. The high was $9.92. The low was $9.76. And right now it's currently sitting at $9.83. This is bad for the WWE because it dipped below $10. Normally WWE stock for the past month or so has traded at about $10. It dipped a little bit earlier than the month, but then it went shooting back up to 10.5. But this recent dip is no bueno.
Quick, everyone, go buy WWE stock.
Yes, buy low, sell high.
Speaking of Bowl, let's see what I did there. James Powell of ProWrestling.net reports that Mickie James is now a free agent due to her contract expiring after it was redrafted and offered as an extension, which James declined. Mr. Anderson's deal with TNA is set to expire this month, and he will stay if the two parties can come to financial terms, but if not, then his match with Bully Ray was his send-off. Jeff Jarrett was backstage at Impact and is said to be more involved in the week-to-week operation of the company again. There's talk of potentially doing a round of Impact tapings in a singular area, perhaps Orlando or even Las Vegas. Mike, Tenay, and Taz were actually caught by fans watching the Patriots-Jets game at the announce desk during this week's Impact tapings. And here's the big one. Multiple sources within TNA have been talking about Hulk Hogan's contract expiring on October 1st. At this time, there's no indication that Hogan and TNA have come to terms on a new deal. In fact, Hogan is somewhat reviled by TNA roster members at the moment due to some of the comments he made in Toronto that we mentioned a few weeks back. It might create an interesting situation considering that the Bound for Glory pay-per-view takes place on October 20th. And also, speaking of old Double H, he suffered injuries after the windshield of his boat broke apart at high speeds just months after the radiator on his boat exploded on his hand. So, TNA's roster woes seem to continue.
I
TNA's
don't believe
woes
in
in
karma,
general seem
but
to continue.
I don't believe in karma, but Hulk Hogan proving me wrong.
Let's put it this way: there was this thing that was happening a little while back, where Bischoff and Hogan said something, basically saying that since we don't have 100% control, this is why TNA is in the and we don't have all the funding that we want. This is why TNA is in the poop, which is incorrect. It's because of those two that TNA is in the poop. And I mean, Meltzer said it on a podcast that was not this one a few days ago, basically stating that the Carters seem to be at their wits' end with TNA. If Viacom bought TNA sometime within the next 3 to 6 months, I wouldn't be shocked. And you would see Viacom, picking up a bunch of stuff. And then here's an interesting thing. So a new company buys a new company, and they want to polish the product, right? So what do you think they're going to do?
They're going to hire people that know what the fuck's going on?
So tell me something. Who recently retired knows what the fuck is going on?
Well, there's lots of people that are retired that know.
Recently retired.
Oh, I don't know.
As in the last week or so?
As in maybe the last week or so, yeah.
That's not
I
going
don't
to
know.
happen. That is not going to happen. There's no
And what if
way.
it does? And what if it does?
He is way too much. And ladies and gentlemen, if Gunnar and I are on the same page, he is talking about Jim Ross, and that is not going to happen because Jim Ross, despite the way the WWE has treated him over the years, is a company man through and through, and he would not. He would consider that a betrayal. I don't know that it would be one, but he would consider it a betrayal, and he would not betray the WWE.
So I thought you were talking about David Kreisman.
No, I wasn't talking about David. No, but JR, if Viacom bought the product and they offered JR a very high role for very little work and a whole lot of money, I could see him taking it, to be completely honest, because you know, what the fuck did he do wrong this time to get released?
Well, I did say last week, I you know, if he wasn't so classy, I would say I would hope that Jim Ross would go to TNA and just get a piece of that pie while it's still on the windowsill.
Also, incoming Mickie James, WWE diva.
I don't think so, because she kind of had attitude problems sometimes, or certain people thought she did, and plus the fact that I think she used to have a relationship with Mr. Jonathan Cena, which you know, if they blocked other girls from getting hired, then
Oh yeah. Speaking of blocking girls, Reddit user Dolphins1925 finally got a prediction wrong, claiming that Alberto Del Rio would defeat Rob Van Dam when RVD ended up winning via DQ. He followed up that writing his source was wrong and believed the match was changed on the fly, and that WWE has done its job. He then posted the rest of the scheduled winners, all of which turned out to be correct, including Daniel Bryan winning the main event. This isn't necessarily a big news segment, but it's interesting to see that they finally got to the Bull, who has been giving Dolphins 1925 his due, if you will.
yeah, this kind of caps off the whole little saga of this guy. I don't know if he's done for good or not, but you know, it is kind of interesting that you know there were in fact leaks, and you know you can argue he wasn't doing it for quite the right reasons. He was trying to, you know, reveal spoilers to get them to plug up the leaks, or I'm not sure. You know, his intentions weren't totally clear. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. It just really doesn't interest me because he's trying to prove a point that's really not meant to be proven.
Yeah, I mean, you know...
You guys. Breaking news. Do the breaking news sound, Gunner. Wrestling matches are predetermined. Oh my God. Yeah.
I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
Neither am I.
Well, I mean, exactly what point was he trying to prove? Like, there's no...
You stink.
I mean, he can... I've got a guy on the inside that tells me stuff. That doesn't do anything.
You know, I guess his point was he didn't want to... He wanted them to improve the product through his ruining it. Something like that. Anyway. Speaking of improvements, I guess, based on who you are, David Kreisman, who I mentioned earlier, who had been head of WWE's writing team but quit in the summer, only to be talked into staying until the end of the summer to get through SummerSlam, is in fact no longer with the company. The Observer reports that there has been a lack of communication lately between WWE officials and creative, which is why the Cody Rhodes firing on Raw seemed fairly rushed. Apparently nobody in creative knew Mark Henry was even cleared to wrestle until they read it online. In other news, WWE's October 18th show in Mexico City at the 21,000-seat Arena Ciudad goes head-to-head with the traditional weekly CMLL show at Arena Mexico and AAA's Heroes Immortales show just 45 minutes away. A stiff competition for WWE's debut in Mexico City's newest and most modern arena. I bet they'll have Sin Cara and Rey Mysterio on that show.
That'll be interesting. The last time that they were in Mexico, it was a pretty good show. Are you looking forward to Subculture not leaving the country?
I think it would be more fun to have him go down there. Well, I guess no, that wouldn't work.
Oh no, not leave Mexico again. That's my implication. Yep.
The idea.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say I'm a little miffed at the idea that nobody knew that Mark Henry was cleared to wrestle until they read it on the dirt sheets online. Like, can you just see creatives sitting around checking eWrestlingNews.com and they're like, Mark Henry is cleared to wrestle? What?
Yeah, it's never good when people within the company find out things online. You know, it kind of goes against their whole stance on those kinds of
There's nothing wrong with that. Dixie Carter finds things out online all the time.
I think that's the only way that Dixie Carter finds things out, is she reads it online.
I think Dixie gets somebody to give her like a special version of the internet, like they have in Korea and China. That you know what I mean.
Oh no, it's like the Samsung Galaxy 4 with the simple screen, only it's like simple dirt sheets, and simple email, and simple Twitter.
And simple Dixie. Simple Dixie.
And like I said, I was at Toys R Us earlier, and they do have quite a bit of Sin Cara merchandise. And if you wonder why, well, it's because of that Mexican contingency in the fan base. They know who these guys, even when they're not on TV that much, they know who they are, and they'll buy that merch.
Well, let me ask you this: are all of the Sin Cara action figures like miscasted? Like all the parts are like the heads are where the legs should be,
and the golden and there's a golden bulge on each one. If y'all remember the T-shirt they got shipped out.
Yes.
That's got to be a fucking collector's. That's got to be a fucking collector's item at this point. Speaking of a collector's item, Jerry Lawler appeared on the Steve Austin show and claims, okay, this has got to be a work, that Dolph Ziggler's 10 elbows to the chest was a partial cause for his heart attack last year. His cardiologist told him that the trauma could have been enough to knock his heart out of rhythm, but that he's feeling 100% now and wants to talk to Vince McMahon about having another match or two on Raw again. Jim Ross appeared on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani, saying that he left WWE because he had a lot of interests and it was the right time to make a move. When asked if it was forced out, Ross claimed it wasn't a case of being treated poorly and that they had casually talked about it in the past, saying it was a matter of good timing. Well, if it's a matter of good timing, I don't have a problem with it. However, my bullshit meter is just, going off the charts a little bit.
Yeah. The way that sounds, if you actually listen to the thing and read the quotes, there's a lot of hesitation, there's a lot of ... as he kind of tries to find the right words to say, well, he doesn't flat out say, no, I wasn't forced out, it was my decision. He kind of says, well, making the best of the situation, I guess the timing was good. In other words, the timing was good because they told him it was, and, and God bless that man, and he really deserves better. He deserves a lot better. Dave Shearer of PW Insider wrote a little piece on it about how he deserves better, and I agree with every word. I figured they wouldn't give any mention to it on Night of Champions or Raw, and thankfully they didn't make fun of him either, because I would have had to hold up my end of the bargain on that one, but he really does deserve better than what he got, and maybe, time heals all wounds, maybe this will blow over and they'll invite him back to do some stuff or whatever, but, and I think about Lawler too. I think Lawler does believe that. I think his cardiologist probably did tell him that, whether that was the cause, probably not, at least not directly, but, if that was an unsafe move.
It's not like Lawler was in great shape before that match in the first place. It's not like he went in there and was, in the best shape of his life, and then Ziggler did that and caused a heart attack.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he's in bad shape, but, some people are saying that Ziggler is dangerous in the ring, and, but the only thing I've seen anybody cite is this, which we wouldn't have even about if Lawler hadn't come out and said it, so, he's in decent shape for a 60-plus-year-old guy, but, still.
Yeah. Alright, so that's it for the news this week. We're going to transition here into a little segment we like to call the 15-minute time limit. Alright, time for the 15-minute time limit, and this week we're going to be talking about that pay-per-view Night of Champions, and we're going to give our feelings on all of the matches. So we're going to start off here with the first match. Tag Team Turmoil, the Usos versus Tons of Funk versus Real Americans versus the Primetime Players. What did you guys think of this one?
It was okay.
Yeah, a pretty hot opener, every team. Well, gauntlet style, two teams square off, then the third, fourth, fifth ones come in. Real Americans running in with their flags, which was kind of neat. And then they kind of took over the match. Cesaro proving once again why he's such a real competitor, a powerhouse, if you will. But I knew that the Primetime Players would win it.
And rightfully so.
PTP's been very, very good. There was no qualms for me for them winning the match. The better match, however, was the other tag team match that happened on Raw this week, and that's going to be my match of the week.
Yeah, I think I know which one you're talking about. Why don't we just go ahead and skip on to the opening. Well, first of all, they had this opening segment, which was completely unnecessary and really stupid, where Triple H comes out, and then Paul Heyman comes out and begs him to cancel the match, and then Triple H is reminded that it's Night of Champions, every champion has to defend, so he makes Kofi Kingston versus Curtis Axel for the title as the first match. And, it really doesn't make any sense for Triple H to be kind of playing that face role when he's supposed to be the total bad guy right now. And even if you want to argue it's better to kind of see Paul Heyman embarrassed and upset, they really could have done that in like a 60-second segment backstage, really, that was kind of a waste of time. and the match itself, which was okay, but pretty typical from these guys that faced each other probably more than any other opponent of Axel's.
It's just weird that Kofi always gets the spot of being the guy to chase the mid-card title. I understand that they might think he's not ready, brother, or whatever, but he's been not ready since 2008.
Well, I understand that spot he's kind of in. He had that program with Randy Orton a few years back, and that really seemed to be kind of that could have been an opening, but, they don't really pull the trigger on those kinds of things, but, I don't mind him being in the mid-card and the mid-card titles. It's just when he kind of is put in these throwaway matches just to kind of lose, then,
Kofi is, I don't know, it's not going to be long before we're doing Kofi Kingston still employed jokes, because he's, like, his basic purpose for even being there is, shit, we need somebody to challenge for the mid-card title. What do? Let's just throw Kofi in there. That's basically his entire role.
Which is annoying, if you ask me. I mean, he could be, dare I say it, a guy who could face, a heel like Miz or something similar, and actually, be a main person. I mean, if he didn't fuck up if he didn't get fucked up that one push that he had with Randy Orton, I could see him being in a position where he could do that. But he's not in a position where he can do that anymore. He's just very content being, a B-side, essentially.
He's not even a B, he's a C. Kofi Kingston is a C. Not even a C+, just a C.
Alright, well, speaking of C comps, how about the Divas 4-Way that AJ won, defending her title against Natalya, Naomi, and Brie Bella? My feeling was that this started out pretty decently, and then it just all fell apart. It got so super sloppy.
It turned into an abortion, quite literally. Brie Bella should be the champion right now, as predicted, because she did have the advantage. And you see, okay, so for those of you watching professional wrestling and really want to geek out about the rules, technically speaking, to have a pinfall, you must have the advantage in the situation, and you must have the shoulders pinned to the mat. So, for example, if a referee wanted to, or if he didn't know what was coming, technically speaking, he could have counted the 1, 2, 3 for Natalya if Natalya had not applied the sharpshooter, the sharpshooter, basically. If she's leaning over, she has the legs, she has the advantage, the referee can count. And this is why you see sometimes, 1, 2 in the push-off, whatnot. But considering the fact that nobody had the person below Brie, I believe that was not AJ, so it was
Naomi, I think.
Thank you, Naomi. She was underneath. She would not be pinned because both of them are in a prone position while they're still stacked on top of each other, which is why you shouldn't all be butthurt about this.
Well, that was really more of I think, just not thinking on the part of, that was what was supposed to happen, and the referee didn't really, they don't have enough ring presence to realize that themselves. And that's kind of the problem, too. A lot of these Diva matches lately have been sloppy, and I think what happens is they map it out so they don't do a lot of it on the fly. So when something kind of goes wrong or they don't do it fast enough, they try to go faster to try and make up for it. Everybody tries to get their spots in and everything, and it just, it really looked bad,
Which is pretty much what happened in this match. AJ tapping out Natalya, I'm not happy with that. Tap out Naomi, tap out Brie. Don't tap out Natalya. Come on, man. Speaking of another come on, man moment, ADR defeating RVD for the World Heavyweight Championship.
I just want to jump in and say that I completely did not watch this match. I was looking at Steam gifts the entire time this match was on. I did not watch it.
Now, Del Rio didn't actually win. Van Dam won by disqualification because Del Rio refused to release the cross arm breaker when Van Dam had made it to the ropes. So Van Dam won, but Del Rio retained. And it wasn't a bad match, but I don't think it was as good as Van Dam's previous match with Christian, I believe it was.
It wasn't good, but it was the right time for a title change. And I understand that you only wanted one for the night, because, really, it's the Night of Champions. Last year they did 3, or 4 even, I think. I called this match to win because they wanted to start using RVD correctly, and to use RVD correctly is to put him in a feud with Damian Sandow and to have RVD with the title and not ADR. Which is really annoying because then it would be 2 double switches in a year if RVD wins the World Heavyweight Championship from ADR at some point in the very near future. You guys aren't using RVD very well. He has a larger star power than what you think he does. You're treating him like this is 2002 or some shit. I feel like he's gonna say whatever or brother or something like that, really, really stoned and really, really high. I find the segments with Ricardo to be quite strange. And him learning Mexico, and yes, man, him learning Mexico, him learning Spanish. It was an awkward segment. I feel that these guys could go on Los Guerreros type excursions and have really, really fun times and be like Cheech and Chong. And that's what it should be without the weed.
Yeah, it's not that they completely don't work together, but they're not really clicking either. It seems a little. And, if Van Dam had won the title, maybe you could justify it a little bit more. But, the world title it really needs a shot in the arm.
Speaking of things that need to be shot, Miz versus Fandango.
Nobody cares. Move along.
Yeah, just about. Curtis Axel and Paul Heyman defeating CM Punk.
With the help of Ryback.
Brokeback Mountain over there.
Shit, fuck.
Yeah. I don't know how happy I am about Ryback being the new Heyman guy. Especially because I think that's going to be the highlight compared to, Curtis Axel, who's supposed to be the Intercontinental Champion. But,
Whatchamacallit? Biggie Langston would have been a better choice, in my opinion.
Yes.
Moving along here, the United States title match, Dean Ambrose defeating Dolph Ziggler. We'll skip on by this one because it was absolutely skippable. It was not good. It was not bad. It was skippable. Because,
it just was. That's the best way to describe that match. It happened.
Of course, Dolph beat Ambrose on Raw, so he gets another title shot. So,
this tag team title match, the Shield defeating Primetime Players. Good match. Nice spear from Reigns.
Yeah, I really thought the Players were going to win this one.
I was hoping they would, but I guess not. Instead, it looks like Usos, and I just want to retract my prior statements about the Usos that I said months ago when I was like, push the Usos, push the Usos. I'm sorry. I wish I'd never said it.
I don't think the Usos will win it either, but I think this is a sign that, they are actually, not just with the bodyguard role, they are actually having the Shield defend against the teams. And, the fact that we had tag team turmoil shows there are a lot of teams waiting in the wings, so... Well, why don't we just go ahead with the main event? Obviously, Daniel Bryan did win. He won with the flying knee, which is sort of his new finisher, non-submission finisher.
I love the new finish. I think it's a really it's a perfect symbolism. It's perfect symbolism for the rest of his moveset. It's stolen from Kenta, which is really, really funny how much Kenta has influence over the current WWE product. If you don't know who I'm talking about, please go Google Kenta. Kenta versus Samoa Joe in ROH in 2006 or 2007 or something like that. Or no, excuse me, 2004, 2005. Great matches. But this match in particular, I never want to see another Daniel Bryan Randy Orton match again. God damn it, Randy Orton, why aren't you good?
I didn't think it was bad for what is probably the first out of another couple of matches.
Oh, for sure. And let's the finish, obviously. We've only got 40 seconds left here, but this is stupid fast count. Obviously, either Vince, Stephanie, or Triple H is behind the whole thing, and the whole setup gimmick that they're doing with it is absolutely retarded.
I don't know. It's kind of... I find it stupid as a fan, but as a, commentator, it was probably a decent way to do it without, completely emasculating Orton or... You know what I mean? Rather than just having your typical screw job where, plus they didn't really... With the rough bump and everything, they really made it look like it was going to be typical like that. So I guess I got to give them a little bit of kudos for doing something that we've seen before, obviously, but not for a long time, and it does kind of tie together. I don't know how I'll follow up with it, though. Surely they will face each other at Battleground.
God, what a stupid pay-per-view name that is.
Yeah, that's dumb. Why don't they do something neat? Unless they're actually planning on doing some kind of War Games match, which they're probably not.
No, they're not, because that would be awesome. And when do they do awesome things?
Yeah, there are certain logistics to it, too.
Well, that is time. Gunner is refusing to hit the button, the buzzer. For some reason, I've told him like 5 times. I'm like, time, Gunner, time, and he won't push the button. So that is it for the 15-minute time.
I think he went to the little podcaster's room.
Well, I guess what we'll do in the meantime, before we go to break, let's play Voiceless by 6 Seconds Magic, which is Woo's own Shining Wizardo, or Super Blizzard. Superblizzard.com, I believe, is the URL. Go check out his music. This is Voiceless.
The greatest thing the devil ever did was making people believe he didn't exist. And you're looking at him right now. I am the devil himself, and all of you stupid, mindless people, fall for it.
The baddest, the best, the cream of the crop. I'm on top, and now the process cannot be stopped. It seems like these old men never learn the things. They show when backs get turned. I am a Judas Iscariot, but I'm willing to carry it through hella high water. The slaughter does not scare me. You thought I was your savior. I'm the manipulator. I cut your heart out clean and my tongue's a straight razor. I masqueraded and your people made it easy. The look of denial in your eyes, damn it, you need me. I see you reaching out for a face to put all your faith in. Your heroes left you behind and I'm the replacement. Fuck that! I'm on a mission and I can't be stopped. I'm on the path of ascension till I reach the top. Taking your love, taking your pride. I built this house so that we'll burn it from the inside. You are the voiceless. They are the voiceless. All of the voiceless. I am the voice. I am the voice of the voiceless. You are the voiceless. They are the voiceless. All of the voiceless. I am the voice. I am the voice of the voiceless.
Ladies and gentlemen, the champ is here. You don't have to love it, but you gotta learn to accept it. Because I'm taking this with me.
Another level, I'm the god of this mic. And in a battle, it's a matter of seconds before I strike. I'm invisible, miserable, sick of being out of the spotlight. I'm sick so this should give me a spotlight. I paid my dues and I follow commands. I took every brass ring in the palm of my hand. But I've been cooking too long now, I got plans. I'm loose, this is live, let the trouble begin. This mic is a pipe bomb and I'm a verbal terrorist. Best in the world, even if you're not aware of it. Hungry for my blood, so I'm showing them what a famine is. I'm tearing a view apart next. Yo, I ain't pressing the yes men. They can't see in front of them, wondering where the best went. It ain't changing, so I guess you gotta take it down. Right makes might. Do I have your attention now? You are the voiceless. They are the voiceless. All of the voiceless. I am the voice. I am the voice of the voiceless. You are the voiceless. They are the voiceless. All of the voiceless. I am the voice. I am the voice of the voiceless. You are the voiceless. They are the voiceless. All of the voiceless. I am the voice. I am the voice of the voiceless. You are the voiceless. They are the voiceless. All of the voiceless. I am the voice. I am the voice of the voiceless.
This belt in the hands of any other man is just a belt. In my hands it becomes power. Just like this microphone in the hands of any of the boys in the back. It's just a microphone. You put it in the hands of a dangerous man like myself, and it becomes a pipe bomb. These words that I speak, spoken by anybody else but me, are simply words strung together and loosely thrown into sentences. When I say, I mean what I mean, I say, and they become anthems. You see, if I could be afforded the time to tell all of you here today a little bit of a story.
Alright, that is it for Voiceless, 6 Seconds Magic. Be sure and head on over to shiningwizauto.com. Follow Super Blizzard on Twitter. Good God. See, this is what happens when Gunner decides to just randomly go and take a dump in the middle of the show. We will be right back after this short break with the kayfabe issues.